I have been asked to come along and talk about NIHR incubators, of which there are many, and the one that I'm involved in is the NIHR Incubator for Nursing and Midwifery. I'm speaking on behalf of Professor Heather Isle-Smith, who does an equivalent job to me. And just to give you a little bit of background of the sorts of the jobs that I do, I'm a clinical prof, which means I have 50% of my time I work in the university, and I lead a research group there, which is the Supportive Pain and Palliative Care Research Group in the University of Manchester. And then the other 50% of my time, I'm in my NHS base at the moment, and I'm the Corporate Director of Nursing for research related to nurses, midwives and allied health professionals. So I lead the strategic development for nurse-led midwifery and AHP-led research, and also the development of academic careers. So that's a little bit of background and I'm speaking to you about incubators because I was invited and have been participating in the NIHR Incubator for Nursing Midwifery for the last couple of years. And I'm going to speak specifically about that work in general. And I can answer some of the areas in the work streams I lead, but then I will hopefully be able to answer some of the others around the other work streams. So what is an incubator? Well, the NIHR did a strategic review of training, and one of the outputs of that strategic review is it highlighted that particularly for nursing and midwifery applicants to personal awards, there was statistically lower success rate compared to other professional groups. And that prompted the development of the Nursing Midwifery Incubator. And the purpose of the incubator is to build research capacity and address both the lower application rate, but also the success rates currently seen for NIHR Academy Fellowship schemes. It also provides prospective applicants with additional support through bespoke information and advice and training. And we've developed a number of work programs and work streams to support and encourage people to see research and research careers and clinical academic careers as something that's within their reach and that they will be supported to achieve. So how do we do that? What is our structure? Well, as you can see here, the NIHR Midwifery Incubator has been operating for just over 2 years. We try to be as inclusive as possible. There's an incubator executive group which provides strategic leadership and decision-making around the different work streams. I'll talk you through the different work streams that we have. And we meet regularly, I'd say every 6 weeks. The executive group membership includes our incubator chair, which is Professor Heather Isle-Smith, and then the working group leads, of which I am one. Also NIHR Academy members, Health Education England, the Council of Deans, which is the council of deans of those universities that support health professional education, and NHS Trust and Senior Midwifery and nursing leads. There's an operational structure for the group, which is clearly set out in the terms of reference. If anybody wants that, I'm sure we can share that. And then we also have a much wider stakeholder panel, and the group invites a number of stakeholders to attend a number of meetings throughout the year. In terms of the work streams, we have 6 work streams. They've come online at various different times. Our training work stream is led by Dave Richards, University of Exeter. Our postdoctoral development work stream is led by Bhavana and Kerry Evans. We've got a virtual platform and communication stream led by Suzanne Cruikshank, and myself, I lead the pre-registration programs. We have a senior investigator, and we also have an NHS manager working group, which has only just been set up. But all of these streams are focused on helping people at various parts of the clinical academic pathway to access support and training that they may need. So highlight. So what I'll do is go through each of those work streams and give you a flavour of the sorts of work that people have been doing. So for example, the training, we will run a masterclass programme and there are resources. It's a sustainable mix of webinars and there's 14 recorded sessions from 6 presenters divided into 4 modules, as you can see here. And the contents include things like NIHR values, the usefulness in adding value for research, the different funding streams, getting an application ready. And we generally run those sessions within March, July and September. We don't have dates for the coming year because actually an NIHR funding incubator is funded for a period of 3 years, and our funding was due to end in March, so we wouldn't be running those going forward. Having said that, we've just been informed that our funding has been extended, so look out on our Twitter or in our web pages to see if those workshops come, the dates for those workshops going forward. In terms of a highlight from our postdoctoral programme, we're trying to lean into the challenges that you have when you are starting an early postdoctoral career and those bridges and connection points. We've enhanced the mentorship and career support. There are some short films made to promote postdoctoral nursing and midwife careers, and we've provided some peer support resources, and they're available on our website. So I've spoken about our website. We've just developed our bespoke website. That's the web address, and we've still got some content, and we'll be adding that as it becomes available. But I tried it this morning. It didn't work. I'm really sorry. If it isn't working for you now, I will try and get that up and running. But it's certainly as it's part of our strategy to have a bespoke website which has a couple of features that I want to highlight here. One of the features is you'll be able to pin yourself on the map, so that we're trying to get to a point where you can be able to network very quickly across England around nurses and midwives who are equally doing work that you might be interested in or want to connect with. But we're also continually promoting our activities via Twitter, via the broader stakeholder group. And if you want to put your, if you want to link in with us around the stakeholder group, please do let us know. In terms of the, this is an area I can speak a little more in detail about, is this is a work stream where we've collaborated with 2 other groups who are very much interested in pre-registration and undergraduate raising awareness in terms of clinical academic careers. One is the NIHR 70/70 Senior Nursing and Midwifery Research Leaders Network, and we've connected with them about developing an undergraduate 3 modules around understanding research careers, and understanding how innovation happens within research. And we're currently finalising and evaluating. We've evaluated it with an online survey, we've made corrections, and now we're doing the final test this September, and then we'll be looking to load that onto Council of Deans and shareable websites, so that there'll be 3 modules with the recordings and links, so that there's a resource around research careers, clinical research delivery and clinical academic careers. So that's one project that we've been doing. The other project that I've been piloting in Manchester and very happy to share is a project that looks at practice-based academic and clinical engagement in research, called the PACER workshops, and they're specifically designed to fill a gap that we saw. There's a paper that came out from the Council of Deans around our pre-reg courses, which showed that being able to become research confident, there was a lot of really great work happening around research methods, critiquing, critical appraisal, helping people apply for research. But in terms of our undergraduate cohorts and our undergraduate students, there wasn't a particular workshop or set of resources that allowed people to connect up with clinicians who were clinical academics. So that's what the PACER workshops were about, and I'm happy to answer any questions about that. I've also put a link into my presentation for a podcast if you're interested in the CARIN network, which is the Clinical Academic Research Implementation Roles Network. Bit of a mouthful, hence we call it the CARIN network. And there's a podcast with myself and the chair of that network, Professor Jane Code. So if you're interested in that, there's a link there. In terms of some of the highlights of the Senior Investigators Group, it aligns very closely with the Postdoctoral Working Group. The group met in early 2022 and they've created an action plan. And as you can see, there's a bit more information there around helping people, encouraging them to become senior investigators, because again, we are underrepresented within the NIHR in terms of the number of applications that go forward and are successful as senior investigators. So we're working very hard to encourage people and mentor people to do that. And then the Nhs Managers Group, this is a group that's just getting started. I'm currently leading that, and I welcome anybody who'd like to get involved in that work. And that is recognising that we need to provide resources and support. Not only we've provided resources and support for supervisors and applicants, but the other group, it's a triumvirate very much in terms of people being able to navigate a clinical academic career between their managers within their clinical setting, their academic supervisors and themselves. And we need to do some more work, and that's what that work stream is about, is to try and help and develop the resources and support that that group of people need. So, I mean, the challenges we have, the incubator is resourced on a voluntary basis. When we say funding, it's a very small amount of funding to provide the infrastructure support to make sure that from NIHR, the members of the steering group and in the working groups provide the expertise and leadership alongside our substantive roles. But we do that because we're passionate about supporting people to develop their research and clinical academic careers. There is an area of improvement in terms of we do need to establish a much clearer baseline for comparison when we're looking at measuring improvement and data across NIHR to facilitate our benchmarking, and that's something that we're lobbying for. But to date, the general awareness of the incubator by the nursing and midwifery community has been slow to take off, which is why we've developed the bespoke website. It's currently in development. There are some glitches, but we're really hopeful that the extension of funding will help us develop that more and get that out and be able to have a much wider visual presence. Thank you very much for inviting us along today to talk about incubators. The impact of the incubator obviously was influenced by our current the pandemic, and having said that, though, it did make us think about our online strategies and how we're developing our resources online. So there are benefits and detractors from what we've been through, that we've all faced over the last couple of years. But we're onwards and upwards. We're really keen. So I'd just like to see, if you QR code this, you'll go directly to the form for our competition, where we're currently running a competition to see who can provide the best case study for our website. We definitely want to build the number of people who are providing case studies of how they've got involved in research, so that, because I'm a great believer of, it's very difficult to imagine whether you can be something or or have a role until you can see other people doing that. So I would very much want to invite all of you to consider, if you are a nurse or a midwife and you've are part of the clinical academic workforce, that you may consider submitting a case study to our competition. And I'm hoping that that's been a helpful conversation.